Okay. Hope everybody's enjoying the meal, enjoying their company. We're going to go ahead and kick the toasting off now as we wrap up dinner. I think dessert's on the way. And I want to kick the night off by telling Jack and Sarah how fired up we all are about being here to celebrate you guys on your big weekend. Getting married tomorrow night. Woohoo! Big night tomorrow night, and you're going to begin the rest of your lives together. It's going to be awesome. I also want to, again, tell the Widener family, Sarah and Meredith and Mark and Tara, how fired up we are about being a part of your family and welcoming you guys into our family. It's going to be awesome, and God knows we've had plenty of time to get to know each other. Jack. All right, I got a few words for Jack and Sarah. Sarah, I'm going to start with you. Okay, so if someone had set Leanne and me down years ago and said, hey, y'all designed the ideal daughter-in-law. You know, think about the characteristics and the traits and the personality and all that stuff. The person that we would have designed, who we would have thought would have been acceptable and just right, would pale in comparison to the person that you are, honey. We would have never, I don't think you're supposed to get choked up at your son's wedding. I think that's your daughter's wedding. But we would never have imagined anybody so kind and sweet and loving and caring. Somebody who loves the Lord, somebody who's as beautiful inside and out as you, somebody who is as compatible with Jack as you are, and it's awesome. And I know you've heard the story. About a year into the relationship, we told Jack, hey, if y'all break up, she's coming with us. Okay, you're on your own, she's ours. Jack, man, we're very proud of you, son, and we're very pleased with the man that you've become. You're a man of character. Your moral and your ethical compass is pointed in the right direction. You love the Lord. You make good decisions. And except for that year between 2 and 3, remember 2 and 3 years old, when your mama spanked you every day with a wooden spoon, I mean literally every day, except for that year, you were a pleasure to raise and you're a pleasure to be with now as a grown man. It's awesome, and we're so fired up for you guys, okay? Now I want to tell a quick story about when we met Sarah, when Leanne and I met Sarah. And then I've got some quick advice, old man advice for you too, and then I'm going to sit down. So the story, the Sarah introduction goes like this. Jack and Sarah were going into their junior year in high school, and Brooks was dating a little girl at the time who was a good friend of Sarah's. So she brings Sarah and another little girl over to meet Jack. And it's like a Thursday afternoon in the summer, and we're hanging out on the porch, and the girls drive up and they park on the street, right? And they get out of the car, and they come up the driveway, and there's a little hill from the street up to the porch. So these 3 girls are coming up the driveway, and they look like they just walked off the cover of a magazine, right? I mean, these girls are beautiful. They're beautiful young women. They're dressed right, total package. Everything's perfect. So they come up on the porch, and, you know, we make introductions, and we're chit-chatting, and old Jack comes bouncing out of the house. And you got to remember, Sarah, I mean, she looks like a full-grown woman. She's sharp. Everything's perfect. She's standing there. Jack comes out, and he's got these white tube socks that come up to there. He's got a little pair of khaki shorts. I'm not kidding. He's wearing a Love It Wrestling t-shirt, I'm pretty sure. He's got that hair swooped over like that. You know how you guys, that hair was a swoop over? And he comes out, and he goes, hey, I'm Jack. I'm Sarah. I'm Natalie. And they start chatting, and they talk for like 2 minutes. And all of a sudden, I hear Jack say, oh, it's good meeting you girls. I got to go. And he goes off the porch, and he gets in this old beat-up pickup truck he was driving at the time, and he's gone. And I'm standing there thinking, we've raised the dumbest human on earth. What's up with this? So I text him, okay, and this is bad parenting. And the text is, it's a little creepy, and it's very politically incorrect. So if I offend anybody, I'm sorry. But I sent him a text. I said, Jack, the tall one is smoking hot. That's Sarah. I said, are you gay, son? And I sent him that text. And he texts me back. I got it, Jay Bird. I guess you had it, son. After all these years, here we are. Now, I'm going to give you some quick advice on keeping it going. This is for both of you, okay? Jack, the first piece of advice is for you. I know it's hard to imagine right now, but y'all are going to have some disagreements. This is going to happen, okay? And when you have a disagreement, I don't care how silly a position you think that Sarah has staked out. She's right. Trust me, she's always right, okay? Your three best words, and any man who's been happily married for a long time will agree with this, your three best words are, "You're right, honey." You're right, honey. Remember those three words, okay? Sarah, that's supposed to be funnier than that. Jeez. All right. Second piece of advice is for both of you, and this one's serious. You are going to hit some bumps along the way. Your marriage, your family, your in-laws, your kids, whatever it is, job, whatever. You're going to hit some bumps along the way. And if you guys will build the foundation of your home and your family on Christ, you're going to be able to weather the storms, okay? I promise that. And the third and final piece of advice is this. If you guys can avoid thinking, selfish thinking like I and me and my and what's in it for me, and if you can think in terms of we and us and ours, and Jack, if you can focus on Sarah's needs and put her first without expecting anything in return, and Sarah, if you can do the same thing with Jack, I promise you guys a long, happy, successful marriage. We love you. Everybody in this room loves you. So let's raise the toast to Jack and Sarah. All right, so Mark Widener is going to come up now, and he's going to have a little toast. And then we got a few family members, and then it's open mic.
Oh boy. I know. Okay, all right. Well, Jay, I had asked you not to set the bar quite so high, but thanks for doing that. I appreciate that. Sorry, I asked. I'd asked Jay not to set the bar quite so high, and unfortunately, he set the bar pretty high. So you should now bring the bar down quite a bit. I think most of you that know me, I'm fairly emotional when it comes to talking about my daughters, and so it's not going to be pretty tonight. I just want to say the first thought so these are here for me really to be a guidepost. I hope, but also for me to look down to occasionally when I start to cry, to get me to stop and sort of draw my attention back to those. But I didn't write this down. I actually was just struck by this tonight when we were at the church. There it goes. Just bear with me if y'all don't mind. Just looking up tonight, what an unbelievably good-looking group of people you are. I mean, it's just amazing. Look at this table right here. You guys, I'm looking at both sides. You're just beautiful people. and I want to tell you from the bottom of my heart, and I know his heart as well, that we love the fact that you have supported our daughter and Jack the way you have, and that you're here. And that goes for all of you who are here tonight supporting us and just being here. We love that. Sorry, I told you guidepost. I asked Tara what I should say tonight, and her advice was, don't try to be charming or witty or smart, just be yourself. So I'm just planning on being myself tonight. And this place is incredible. If you look around, I mean, it really is beautiful. So we've got the wedding reception here tomorrow night. It's going to be fabulous. It's really awesome. Summer Hour did a great job. Sarah, wherever you are, Sarah Devine is divine. She's awesome. She did a great job pulling everything together, taking care of all the details. One thing that was pretty interesting, and I loved it actually, about 2 o'clock this afternoon, Sarah called me and asked me if I would come down and string all these lights and build the heaters outside and So I did that, and so we're all good. That some of you will get that, and some of you. Some of you. So Leanne and Jay, I'm going to start with a few things. Leanne and Jay, you guys are awesome, and this obviously is an incredible event that you all have hosted tonight. We love that you, sorry, and if I'm too loud, tell me. We love that you guys have done this, and it's a beautiful event. We love you. We have really, really loved getting to know you guys. It's been 10 years. I mean, it's amazing. It's amazing how well we have gotten to know you and the whole Young family. We love Brooks and Haley and Lily and Doc and Wyatt and Bertie and I guess Jack and Otis too. And there was a sign years ago we used to have in our house. This is where I'm having a hard time getting through this. We had a sign in our house for long. We used to have signs in our house that told you how to sort of live. We had a sign in our house that said it takes a whole heap of living to make a house a home. And I think we're going to have a whole heap of living in the future with the Youngs, the Winder family. And we're looking forward to that. Very, very heartfelt thanks. And you can't, if you can see back at the back left-hand table, the grandparents who have braved their way to be here. So awesome. Leanne's parents, Jay's parents, my dad who should have been here but can't be here tonight. He's 84 years old. He's humming along, but he's just wasn't able to be here. And then, of course, Tara's mom and dad, and my mom, who are surely here, looking down on us. Sorry. Jay, you were way too cool for this. So can we please, let's just, I would love to raise a glass to the grandparents in the back corner, please, for making the trip here, because we wouldn't be here without them for sure. Cheers. And then a last bit of thanks before I go on to the last few things that I want to say to Sarah and Jack. I obviously want to thank Tara. Tara and I have been 31 years she's put up with me as my partner, my best friend, my governor, my backstop, my style counsel, and a mother, most importantly, a mother and role model to my daughters. You've done a great job, Tara. I love you. Thank you. So Sarah and Jack, again, so blessed to be here in this place. And you just look around and it's just incredible. You're surrounded by friends that love you and support you, and a lot of them who made their way in from lots of places like California and Washington, D.C., and other places like that. As you know, Jay mentioned, Sarah and Jack met 10 years ago as rising juniors in high school, which is really phenomenal if you think about it. It's almost 4,000 days ago. It's more than a third of their lives, which is amazing that they have known each other that long. They've survived high school and college and the beginnings of careers and buying a new house and getting a dog, and there's just so many things that it's just an incredible thing. Sarah, when we were together at the Young's house a few months ago, I told you that you were, a dream daughter. And I meant it. I meant it. I can't think of another way to describe you. You have been a dream. I can remember like it was yesterday. Sorry. Driving you home from Piedmont Hospital after you were born. We were driving to our house in Swanee, which was a long way. And I remember driving on I-85 going about 25 miles an hour with Tara and Sarah in the back seat, and I was petrified, scared to death that something was going to happen. And we got to the house. It was middle of October. It was cold. The house seemed like it was giant, and I had no idea what to do. Thankfully, your mom did. Almost like she had the playbook. So there's absolutely no surprise that you've turned out to be such a phenomenal woman. Sarah, you're amazing. You are, and I've preached this to you since you were little, and you've actually listened. You are more beautiful on the inside than you are on the out, and the out's pretty good. So you're very beautiful. You have a joy to be about you and just a lust for life that inspires me every single day. And I just got another sort of anecdote that I didn't write down, but I've been thinking about it, is this whole last 9 or 10 or 11 months where Sarah has lived back at home with us, we frequently meet downstairs at about 6:30 in the morning, Sarah reading her Bible, me having a cup of coffee, reading Fox News. But just the fact that we've had that time together, I cherish it, and I'll never forget having that opportunity together. Jack, we love you too. We love you. You have blown us away by the way that you've treated Sarah. You've been so incredibly respectful of her. It's clear you love her. I couldn't want anything more out of a future son-in-law than that, someone to love and respect my daughter. You've done that. I'd originally planned when I met Jack to take the whole tough dad with a shotgun approach. And I realized a couple things pretty quickly. Number one is that Jack's behavior didn't really justify that. He didn't really need it. And two, probably more importantly, Jack had a lot more guns than I did, and he's a way better shot. So he earned our respect on a couple of different levels. Sorry, I actually remembered all that. So Jack, I'll leave you with just a piece of advice. Jay gave you a good piece of advice. I think, Jay, your advice was phenomenal about the road bumps along the way and the things that you're going to do with each other to support each other. But I read recently a ancient philosopher said, and I thought it was really interesting, and I thought I'd share it with you, that a man who gives in when he's wrong is a really wise man. But a man who gives in when he's right actually stays married. And so you need to stay married, because I don't want to have to do this again. So I'm going to finish up, thankfully. Okay, I've been waiting for this for a long time. But I want to quote another quote that I actually read recently that Mark Twain gave, where he said, in order to get the full value out of joy, you need to find someone to divide it with. I was lucky enough to find that person 31 years ago, and you all are lucky to have found that. So I love you. I love you. We hope you guys stay blessed with happiness, with peace, with contentment, with trust in one another, and what an awesome future that you're going to build together. So everyone, please raise a glass. Thank you for putting up with this. I appreciate it. Cheers, everyone. Who's next?
Good job. First off, I have to say he did a lot better than any of us thought he was going to. He only cried a few times. But for anyone who doesn't know me, I'm Meredith, Sarah's little sister, or Scary Mary, as Jack has come to call me. And I'm not really sure where that one came from, but I think it has to do with the way we met. I was 13, and it was the night of he and Sarah's second date, and I had two friends over, and we thought it would be a lot of fun if we dressed in all black and hid in the bushes to spy on them. So this was after the fact that we had given each other terrible makeovers. So we were 3 13-year-olds hiding in the bushes in all black with an absurd amount of makeup, watching Sarah and Jack's first kiss when we popped out and I met him for the first time. So needless to say, Sarah was not very happy with me, and Jack must have really liked Sarah already to stick around. But not only has Jack had to deal with me the last 10 years, but he's had to deal with my dad. When Jack used to come over, they would hang out in our study, which was upstairs. So my dad used to send me every 10 minutes to go check on them. And I thought that was a lot of fun, but they didn't. And when they were 17, we had a really bad ice storm, and it wasn't safe for Jack to drive home. So my dad reluctantly agreed to letting him spend the night, but not before making my sister sleep between he and my mom. That happened. So Jack has been through the ringer. But Jack is honestly one of the most social people that I know. For example, when he and Sarah came to visit me in college, we went to the booth, which anyone who went to Alabama knows what that is. And it was full of people that were my age, and yet Jack knew more people there than I did. And they haven't graduated for 4 years. But, that's just how Jack is. Everyone knows him, and he knows everyone. And I think one of the reasons for that is because he makes everyone feel important. And the person he makes feel most important is Sarah, unless there's a turkey involved. And, as you all can imagine, Sarah has been the greatest big sister that anyone could ask for. She's the most selfless person I know. She's kind, she's funny, she's hardworking. But the thing I admire most about her is just how sure she is and her unwavering faith. And she's just never doubted that Jack was the one for her. And even when it wasn't easy, she trusted the timing of it all. And I just really admire her for that. But, as the younger sister, I've always looked up to her for everything, what to wear, how to act, and even where to go to college. And her and Jack's relationship has been no different. And if there's ever been two people that were put on this earth for one another, it's Sarah and Jack. I love you both so much, and I can't wait for all the fun years to come. So cheers to Sarah and Jack. Haley. There you go.
Hey, I'm Haley, for anybody that I don't know. I'm Jack's younger sister. So some of you might not know this, but Jack and Sarah dated for a while before getting engaged. I'm not sure how many jokes are going to be made about that tonight, but there's another one. So much so that I was 12 when they met and Sarah came into our lives. So I was awkward and had braces and was just your average weird middle school kid. But I think I knew immediately that Sarah was going to be important to us, to my family, and to me, and that she was to Jack. So I remember pretty early on in their high school romance, pulling Sarah aside and being like, hey, listen, similar to my dad. I was like, listen, if y'all break up, you and I are fine. Like, we're still friends. We'll hang out. Don't worry. She was like, oh, absolutely. I know. We're good. No worries. So thankfully, we didn't have to find out if that was true or not. But I think it would have been. I really do, because Sarah's been one of my dearest friends from the very beginning, from that first day. And she knew firsthand that growing up with two older brothers was not the easiest life for me. And so she quickly stepped into the role of my sister. And so I feel like I've had one for almost half my life now. And a lot longer than just this current season. So I feel really thankful for the position that I had and that Meredith and Brooks had too, being Jack and Sarah's siblings, because I got a first-hand front row seat at watching them grow up together. I got to see Jack before Sarah and Jack and Sarah when they met and who they've become now. And what I've determined over the last 11, however many years, is that Jack and Sarah are really even better together. I think we can all agree that on their own, they're both really awesome, solid people. There's no question about that. But I've seen them make each other look more and more like the people that I think they were made to be. And they bring things out in each other that make them look like Jesus. And they cheer each other on, and they push each other, and they've grown together. And I am no expert, but I think that's got to be a lot of what marriage is supposed to be. Moving alongside each other in the same direction towards Jesus. And I think that's what they do. And they're not done growing yet. They've just gotten started. So I'm really excited to hold on to my front row seat to watch as they grow up together for the next 70 plus years. So let's raise a glass. Cheers to Jack and Sarah.
Some tough speeches to follow up there. But for those of you who don't know me, my name is Brooks Young, Jack's older brother. There's two things you guys are going to hear a lot about tonight. You've already gotten a little taste of it. The first is that it's about time this wedding finally happened. And the second you're going to hear about is Jack's weird turkey hunting obsession. You know, Sarah, the good news is we are finally on the eve of the wedding, so it's about here. The bad news is I don't think the turkey hunting problem is going anywhere anytime soon. I think that's going to be one you're going to have to live with. And while it has taken us a long time to get to where we are, if we're being honest, I didn't always see this relationship working out. You know, in fact, in the very beginning, I had some serious doubts. Yeah, my dad touched on it a little bit, but you got to remember when they met, Jack was about 5'10", maybe weighed 115 pounds, soaking wet. And on the other hand, you had Sarah, who's as sweet and beautiful as ever. So, as you can imagine, we had a little bit of concern about that going forward. So, on top of that, everybody knows that for the first date, you take a girl out and you want to impress her, you take her to Jimmy John's. Or at least that's what Jack thought. So in spite of that, we made it through that. And Sarah's gotten through it, saw through it for 10 long years. They've been together. And it's been great. And Sarah, we really have felt like you've been the unofficial sixth family member. It feels like forever now. And we're just all extremely excited to finally make it official and to tie it together. Tomorrow's going to be a great day. And we just want to raise a glass to you guys and to what we know is going to be a long, happy, healthy marriage. And Haley, the only problem is now you have official competition for mom and dad's favorite family member. So good luck with that.
Hi everyone. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Kay Chan. I've had the privilege of being Jack and Sarah's third wheel for the past 10 years. Still going strong. So all of my favorite memories from high school, college, and after have you two in them. We've literally been together for all of each other's big life moments, and equally important, the small ones. So since this is the Mac Daddy of life events, it got me thinking. It got me thinking about how much I look to Sarah for advice. That could mean advice on anything. Sky's the limit, any time of day or night. Sarah's there for me in her calm, patient, and non-judgmental way. I'm very grateful for that. So I've decided to take this opportunity to give you and Jack some unsolicited advice for a happy marriage. Sarah, first and foremost, never plan important events that require Jack's presence during hunting season. Yeah, that's non-negotiable. That gives you June and July and February, obviously. Occasionally, you're going to have to let Jack off the hook when he Irish exits family game nights. When you're running late, well, that one's a lost cause. Jack, I'm sorry. Practice not crunching ice when Jack is within a mile radius and can hear you. Don't forget to pack Jack's steamer when you go on trips for his wrinkled pants, or he will have a full-blown meltdown. And finally, if you're going to let Otis on the bed or give him treats, make sure the warden is not around. Now, Jack, some advice for you. Hang on one second. After you're done admiring your chopped off turkey feet after a successful weekend in the woods, don't leave them on the kitchen counter for decoration. Let Sarah listen to Frank Sinatra in the kitchen while she burns your dinner. Whatever you do, don't let Sarah drive. 100% chance you'll get lost or you'll be there 2 hours late. Accept the fact that she's going to start playing Christmas music on September 1st. Oh, wait, hang on. If you're ever in the doghouse, refer to Sarah as Otis's mom, and you'll get immediate redemption. And last but not least, let Kay-Chan sleep over anytime she wants. All jokes aside, I've been waiting just as long as you two for this night to be here, and I just couldn't be happier to see everyone's faces here. That means so much to Jack and Sarah, and yeah, so here's to the happy couple, to the Youngs. Oh, whoever wants to come up next. Come on, don't be shy.
All right, we heard enough good things by now. Dusty, where do I start with your ass? From hiding up my phone on the wall and taunting me on video and sharing it every month to remind me, to breaking into my house at 2 a.m. on a random Tuesday to put dead ducks all over our house. I think Harry found one 2 weeks later under our couch. To putting Otis in shotgun and making me sit in the back seat multiple times. To getting all of our friends to call me Cricky, including Sarah, by the way, after I got one crick in my neck. Our friendship definitely requires a lot of grit and a lot of mental toughness. Hopefully by the wedding, everyone will start calling you by your new nickname, Goose, short for goose egg, after you put up 0 points in our last golf round. But I appreciate you taking me under your wing freshman year. I didn't really know anyone at Alabama. So our room, shout out to Ridgecrest 220. We became friends right away and led to various shenanigans over the year. You took me under your wing again under college with our first house at the Leaf, aka the Jack Shack, with 3 jacks and a shack. And then a year and a half, we finally upgraded to Steve Long, which put us at about 5 total years of living together. I saw a few themes that remain throughout each household. Number 1, wrestling matches, most of with folks that are in this room, which led to another nickname, Rugburn Young. Scaring me when I walk into the house after work. Finally, I think I slapped you so hard you stopped doing that. To Kay-Chan's point, it was like clockwork. I would hear your ass stomp up the stairs, open up the dryer, and then put in your wrinkly clothes for the day, and then bang on my door and ruin my shower every single morning. And then lastly, just various video game battles, Rory being my favorite. Sarah, that's my only request. Please just get good at Rory so this man can stop beating us. I actually do have a flashback. I remember freshman year, I walked into our room and we used to play NBA 2K all the time. And JY was playing Sarah. Sarah obviously didn't know how to play. I looked at the scoreboard and it was like 1 to 114. So we got to work on that. Sarah, best of luck living with this man. That's all I can say. But all that said, JY, you're one hell of a loyal friend since day one. I'm super pumped to see you and Sarah's next step. Obviously, seeing tonight, y'all both come from incredible families. Y'all have a great family of your own. Thank you for being a great friend, and cheers to y'all.
Hello, everyone. Brooks, number 2 here. As Jaybird said, years 2 to 3 really were not his best. He was awful. I remember those vividly. He's just not good. But hey, and I thought we'd play a game. Every time turkey hunting comes up, just take a nice swig of your drink. It's gonna be a long night. But anyway, I'm just a little bitter. Jack texts my brother more than he texts me. We're close friends, but pretty much talks to my brother all the time about turkey hunting, duck hunting. I think you were on a bicycle on public land last week. What's the deal? But whatever, we'll get over it. Yeah, so I mean, so many stories from Harrison terrorizing us in your basement, from me being at something like 15, looking at crazy videos on YouTube, making my parents come pick me up, and Jaybird coming out just in his boxers. I mean, lots of stuff going down. To Argentina, many stories. Don't ever get on a long overnight flight drinking too much. Just don't do it. Trust us. To our Miami trip, when I was interning down there, crazy stuff. But I figured I'd start an Instagram that said Jack acting young, but we'll save that for another time. But one of my favorite stories, a little more recent, kind of tailing off of what Shaq said, was a little story from John Hales. You know, we had a long night drinking. He knows what's coming. Jack, you know, we mess around. I realize he's gonna beat me, and so I act like I'm not trying. He puts me into something that resembles a pretzel, and I mean, I weigh a lot more than he does, but he puts me in the pretzel, and it hurts, and it hurts, and it hurts, and I go, Jack, my back, please, stop. And he doesn't stop, and I go, Jack, if you don't stop, I'm gonna punch you in the face. And he keeps doing it. I go, Jack, if you don't stop, I'm gonna punch you in the face. And I said it again, and so I punched him in the face. I socked him. I gave him a nice, he's gonna act like it didn't hurt, but I think it hurt him a little bit. And then next day, God, I was so morally hungover. They had left. I slept in the latest, as I normally do. And but of course picked up. Jack didn't pick up anything, but I picked up, and I ended up, after I got home, mustering up the courage, I texted him. I said, hey man, I don't really know what got into us. I'm really sorry. And he goes, bitch, that didn't hurt. Like, you punched like a girl. And that's how he is. I mean, you're never really going to cross him. He's always going to be a good friend. He's not going to take it too far. Someone could say he can, I don't know, roll with the punches. He can kind of figure it out. But you kind of parlay that into even more recently, sitting on John Rex's porch. Everyone went to bed, and me and that jackass sat and just talked about nothing for hours, and I'll never forget it. Because as much of a jackass as I can be and as he can be, we had a great night that night, and that's just who we are. We're best friends, and I think, you know, all of you can stand for that. He's the man. Sarah, you have such a kind heart, and you're going to hear it a million times. We heard it at Elwin's wedding. You're just a hard 10. Well done. Everyone adores you, and it just doesn't get any better than you. I wish, I'm sure you're thinking it right now, just Brooks, shut up. Just shut the hell up. But you're welcome to do that. But you guys are perfect for each other, and you well know that a lot of folks envy you in here. I'm so blessed to be in both of your lives. I adore both of you. And, just keep being role models, and make sure you keep that guest bedroom open for me, okay? Love you guys. Cheers. Who's got it? Who's got it?
Okay, I'm Nicole, and I went to Holy Innocents of Sarah. And it's like me and Sam here that were literally with Sarah all through high school. And tonight I looked over at Sam and I was like, do you have any like roasts for Sarah? Because she's by far the sweetest friend I have. And she didn't sneak out with me. She didn't like blare the music in the car. She didn't do anything bad. So with that, you are a dream daughter, and I hope that one day I have a daughter just like you, because you are by far the sweetest person I know. And I know that because you dated Jack for 11 years, and I don't have a friend that I know that would do that with any guy. I really don't. And second off, you're a dream daughter, because I don't know if I have a friend or who would spend every Wednesday with their in-laws for dinner. Like, I love my future in-laws, but I don't know if I could do every Wednesday. But I know that the Youngs are an incredible family, just as much as your family is. And I'm so happy for you and Jack. We're finally here. I feel like Jack either didn't like us at Holy Innocents or you love to love it people more, because we didn't really have much time with Jack. I feel like after college when we lived together at Glen Devon, I never saw Jack. It was either hunting season or he just like loved his Love It bros way more than us. Which is fine, I get it. They're cool, they're awesome, but anyways, we love you and I'm so proud of both of y'all and I will always look up to y'all. And I'm so glad we're here to celebrate. You have wonderful friends and I'm so happy that I've met all of y'all from Alabama, childhood friends, everywhere. It's been fun. So cheers to a lot of happiness and love. Who's next? I think Kyle's up. Oh.
Jack, you know this story is coming, I'm sure. I am Jackie, Jay's mother, and one of Jack's grandmothers. And I used to babysit a lot. And Jack, I guess, was about 6 years old. And Jay and Leanne bought guinea pigs for Brooks, Jack, and Haley. And Jack named his Carlos. And so I was over babysitting one Saturday afternoon, and Jack came up and said, "Baby," which is what they call me, "would you help me find Carlos? I can't find him." And I said, "Well, yeah, tell me what happened." He said, "Well, I was sitting on the front porch with him playing, and Mama told me to go across the street and get Dixie," which was that black lab, "and I put Carlos in Mama's flower pot, and when I came back, Carlos was gone." And I said, "Well, Jack, when did this happen?" And he's 6 years old. And he says, 3 days ago. So needless to say, well, Carlos is still out there somewhere. But Sarah, I just, we were so afraid Jack was going to let you get away. He waited so long, and we just love you so much and welcome you into the family and wish you many, many happy years of joy and love. Thank you. Anybody else?
Opening joke. Can anyone else not taste their food? So anyway, I first met Jack freshman year of high school. We shared a lot of the same interests. We were in the same advisory and ended up becoming great friends and college roommates. And if there's one thing that stands out to me about Jack, is what he told me after a few years of knowing him. And what he told me was actually something very strange. It was that he kept a diary. A couple years ago, I stumbled upon this diary and found out what he wrote in it after his 1-year anniversary with Sarah. So tonight, I'm going to share this diary post with everyone. Dear Diary, Sarah just dropped me off at home after our 1-year anniversary dinner. I'm kind of mad she dropped me off. I know I've severely outkicked my coverage with her, but does she not like me? Also, is it weird she was driving and not me? Oh well. At her anniversary dinner tonight, I finally realized that I love turkeys. I mean Sarah. She really is the woman of my dreams. She also hasn't noticed that I only wear 4 shirts, which is awesome. I did find it weird when at dinner, Sarah started wheezing and freaked out when a bee landed on her, but maybe that's something she'll grow out of. Wheezing because she has asthma, and I'm pretty sure she's also allergic to bees. That's the backstory. I hope she is not allergic to the woods. If we ever do go hunting and we see a shooter buck, I also hope she is cool if I take the gun and shoot it. Life with Sarah could be perfect. We can also buy a beautiful home together, raise a black lab named Otis, and buy a new white couch for him to lay on. the joke there was the white couch. However, there's one thing that must happen for us to work out. The wedding, this joke's already been said, unfortunately, but the wedding will have to be in February because I cannot miss deer or turkey season. XOXO Jack. P.S. Kyle is the man. So thank you, Jack. Yeah, that's my toast. Cheers. Thank you, Wideners. Thank you, Youngs. Who's next? Was super nervous all week about that.
Me too. I'm not sure what the policy is on ushers giving speeches. But I appointed myself head usher, so I'm just going to roll with it. I met Jack my freshman year when he was living with Shaq 2 floors below us in Ridgecrest, and I thought, seems like a pretty cool guy. Wildly good looking, very friendly, seems to love the outdoors. And then I met Sarah, started getting to know Sarah, and all right, this guy's doing something right. He's got it together. And my sophomore year, he had a broken foot, took me hunting down at their old place in South Georgia, and helped me into a deer stand, shot my first deer with a bow, and I also met his family that weekend. I was like, wow, it just keeps getting better. His family's amazing. Thank you all for this. I mean, this is incredible. Then my junior year, I went bass fishing with him, striped bass and largemouth on the Black Warrior. And I was like, oh my God, like this guy, it's like he talks to fish. I'm seeing what he's seeing. I'm throwing the exact same thing he's throwing. I don't really know what I'm doing, but he's catching 10 to 20 more fish than I am. And I kept getting to know him, and our relationship developed past fishing or hunting and any of that. And if he had none of those talents, he would still be one of my best friends to this day. I've never met a kinder, more loving and generous guy, and it's obvious that stems directly from his family. Sarah, I've also never met anybody like you, and you two go together like nothing I've ever seen. I mean, it's obvious, and I think it took a long time because you guys knew that exactly where you would be, and there was never any question about it. It was just a matter of when the right timing was. And I'll finish off on the same note that 2 or 3 people have touched on. My dad always told me, never wrestle a wrestler. And I'm from Mobile. We didn't have wrestling there. And and I'm, these days, if I get dip below 220, like it's a really good morning. But around 2017, I think, pretty soon after we graduated college, we were all at our buddy Caleb's place in Belmont, and I had, pretty good bit of Bama weight on me then. I was probably 240, and Jack, and late night, and a lot of natty, and Jack wanted to wrestle, and he said, I want you. And I was, Jack's, what do you weigh, Jack? Maybe 160 now. You're probably about the same then. I was like, buddy, I will wipe the floor with you. I mean, hey, we never wrestled in college, so thank God. And I'm talking about a bunch of people, 20 plus people there, half of them girls, and he just, in the dirt, just embarrassed. It was the worst I've ever been whipped in my entire life. It was absolutely horrible. I woke up the next morning, and we were like, driving to a gas station to get beer. We were going to go out on the river, and my left trap was touching my ear. It was so swollen, I had to drive with my right hand. And then, fast forward 2 marches ago, on Sellers' engagement, one of our buddies got engaged, and I got a girlfriend, and she gave me some motivation. I dropped some weight. I was working out. I was in good shape, best shape I'd been in since high school. And so, 2 in the morning. I said, let's go. And actually, Jack probably said, let's go. Let's do it again. And we did it again, and it didn't go my way either. And I limped back to Tuscaloosa where my fiance was living at the time, and crawled back into bed with her, and she had absolutely no sympathy, zero sympathy. She said, you are an idiot. And the fact that you can't move right now infuriates me. And I missed the next 2 days of work. I had a separated rib, and I had to tie a rope to the end of my bed to pull myself up in the mornings. Thankfully, the owner of my company had broken a rib before, and he was very understanding. But I told him that I slipped and hit it on the deck of a boat. Not that I got body slammed onto an ottoman at 3:30 in the morning at Lake Martin. Anyway, Jack, I love you. I love you. Sarah, anybody in this audience, don't wrestle that man. It won't end well for you. I'd do anything for you guys, and I know everybody in here would too, so I wanted to raise a toast to you. Thank you for letting us be here.
Hello, everybody. I'm David. I lived with Jack for 3 years in college. I met him freshman year, and like everyone said, like, meet Jack and Sarah, and you're just kind of like, whoa, who are these guys? Like, we got to become best friends, like, right away. And sure enough, we did, and we became good friends. And living with Jack, I learned a few things. So I know Sarah, y'all have been dating for about 10 years, right? I mean, a long time. But I know y'all have not lived together. So I got a little bit of advice for you just through living with him. All right, so he loves to stay up late. And some of the stories you've heard, he stays up to 2:30, 3 o'clock at night, and he always gets into some kind of mischief. One of the things we used to do was we'd stay up and we would watch Wedding Crashers and order Jimmy John's. It was routine, and we did it so many times in a row that Jack would fall asleep, passed out in the recliner, and he'd be reciting Wedding Crashers quotes in his sleep. All right, so look forward to that. He likes to stay up late. The other thing is, he's super competitive, so, he's a little bit of a sore loser too. So if you beat him too many times in NCAA 2014, he may not talk to you for 3 weeks. So be careful with that, Sarah. All right, if you wake up in the middle of the night and he is not in bed, and you go to the bathroom and he's not in there, do not be alarmed. He is peeing outside. He bypasses the bathroom in the middle of the night to go pee outside. I hope you have a fence up so the neighbors can't see you, but this is something that he does that I learned. And also, you may want to get your own ice tray. So if you go in the freezer, Jack loves some turkeys, and he puts them birds in the freezer, so you may get some feathers in your ice cubes. So be careful with that as y'all get used to living with each other. But, you guys, y'all are the best. Everyone here loves you. We're so excited to finally celebrate this day. And it's been so much fun becoming best friends with y'all over the past few years. So I want to say here to Jack and Sarah, and to a great weekend. Cheers.
Hi, I'm Virginia, and like a few others here, I was lucky enough to get to know Jack and Sarah from the beginning of their relationship. The first time I met Sarah was when Jack asked to bring her to my parents' farm for our dove shoot senior year of high school. And you'd imagine that it'd be a little uncomfortable to walk into a group of girls from a different school, but Sarah was her happy, outgoing self, so it wasn't hard to see why Jack wanted to bring her along. My dad likes to joke that all of us girls that weekend were looking at her like, who's this cute girl with her cut-off shorts and cowboy boots with her hair done? And I'm sure the rest of us thought we looked real cute in our oversized t-shirts and matching aviators and side ponytails. Sarah is our very own Kate Middleton. She's effortlessly gorgeous and so kind, and is somehow one of the most humble people I know. You know, Jack, I wish I could say the same about you. In fact, Jack and I were in the same Joe group in high school, which was a 2-week-long camping trip that our high school Love It put on. And our group decided to give each other nicknames. While some of us were given names such as Gravity Bomb, naturally, Jack was dubbed the name Cutie, a nice stroke to his fragile ego. Oddly enough, I'm engaged to one of her close friends from high school, Sam, and she's marrying one of mine. So it's funny how things come full circle, and now I get to stand up next to them tomorrow and watch 2 of my best friends get married. So I love you guys. Cheers. Anyone else?
I bet nobody suspected that there would be a roast of Sarah Widener tonight. And there won't be. She is no flaws. But Jack does have flaws. So when I first got to Love It, Jack was definitely suspicious of me. First of all, I like to read. Jack didn't see an undersized 8th grader with a bowl cut, but he saw a new hunter. He saw a competition, somebody that might get in between him and the larger turkey population. That competition did not last very long. Honestly, I think Jack's best quality is his energy and drive to squeeze the most out of life. Whether it be deciding to peel off from the hike at Elwyn's wedding to catch trout, or shake up our Saturday by buying a live goat. I'll be available for questions for anybody or any single girls that want to talk about that after the wedding. There are none here. Or agreeing to put himself in harm's way by taking Peter Diaz or any of my Yankee friends hunting. So he has the rare combination of never taking life too seriously, which is a necessary component of buying a live goat, I guess. But also being incredibly driven, hardworking, and never taking anything for granted. It's a testament to how he was raised and how he's internalized those values. I'm really not an emotional person generally, but the day I found out that Jack and Sarah got engaged, I was flying back from New York, and I fly into Hartsville Jackson, and I was hungover as shit. I felt terrible. And I get the text from Jack that they got engaged. I saw a picture or something. It might have been a side effect of the mescaline. No, but I got a little bit emotional, and I was like, wow, this is a really weird feeling. But it's like it's 2 people that were just absolutely destined to kind of be together. It was the most logical thing, and it was the most happy thing that I can think of, and it was great. So, toast to Jack and Sarah. I'm very excited for y'all, and congrats.
Come on, Elwyn, you're good. Hey, folks, we got time for 2 or 3 more, and then Steve Allen is going to wrap us up, and then the band's going to crank up in just a few minutes. But before we close out, I do want to throw out a thank you to the folks at Summer Hour and the folks at Endive for putting this together, and to Leanne. You're right, honey, for bringing all this together.
Well, first and foremost, Jay Bird, Miss Young, thank y'all so much for having us. And Widener's, Mr. Widener, when you want to hang these lights, call me. Highlight of the engagement weekend was hanging out with you and stringing those lights. JY, you are one of the most sincere and thoughtful friends I have. As Brooks has been cut out many times, Brooks Shane, our runs are some of the best ways that I decompress in my life right now. And having you be one of my best friends means the world. And I cannot wait to see, you and Sarah grow and what God's plan is for y'all in your life. So cheers to you two and everything that y'all have in store. Going once.
All right, I'll say one more. I'll say, come on. Okay, I can't have a mic and y'all know I can't pass up a mic. Everyone said so many nice things about Jack, and I'm not going to try to replicate that because I think all of that has been said, and I think that does not need to be repeated. What I don't think has been repeated or mentioned yet is how thrifty Jack Young is. So I'm a little bit high-strung, and I don't really know how I'm here or really why I'm here. I think I just met Jack through a friend of a friend of a friend, and next thing you know, I'm here, and damn glad to be here. But one of my very first memories of Jack Young is we're not even really friends yet, and maybe like text friends or Snapchat friends or whatever, and going to a date party on a Thursday night or whatever, and my suit is a wreck and his suit is a wreck or whatever, and I'm like, man, are you getting your suit dry cleaned? He was like, hell no. He goes, I'm putting mine in the dryer and putting that thing on high heat. I was like, shit, man, have I been missing this thing the whole time? So, Jack, thanks for having us here, man. And that's it for me, guys.
So I could get up here and say, oh my gosh, I'm so not prepared, but that wouldn't be true. This evening, actually, I was upstairs at the Widener's house getting ready for this event. I looked over to Meredith and I said, do I need to say something tonight? And she goes, no, you're fine. I was like, well, I got something ready anyway. So I'm Ben Schenkel, by the way. Good family friends with the Wideners. Used to live in Nashville. They moved down here, and very fortunate and appreciative we still kept up our family relationship. Consider y'all my parents, Sarah and Meredith, as my second sisters. So I remember the first time I ever met Jack, and even though I'm 2 years younger than Sarah, I still had that big brother protective, I was looking over Sarah, even though I was younger. He had the hoodie. I think Mr. Young mentioned had the Justin Bieber hair. And this is the house over on Bel Air, and I remember very distinctly Jack's in the garage with hoodie, hair. I'm like, Sarah, this guy? Come on. And I was big brother protective, but as I got to know Jack more, got to see y'all grow and get to know each other more, couldn't think of a better couple. Respect both of y'all so much, love y'all so much. And my, technical big sister, couldn't be happier for you. Love you to death. Very excited for y'all, and gonna have a great weekend, and love y'all so much. Can't wait. Oh, no, he's next.
Hello, everybody. I'm Jack Stickney. I have the pleasure of being best buddies with JY for, the last 15, 16 years. And I've probably known Sarah for the last 10 or 12 of those years as well. So I've had a front row seat to watch their relationship flourish to what it is today. So that's been incredible. I've also had the chance of living with JY for the last 4 years with a couple other faces out here in the crowd. Definitely some wild times, some stories that I can't tell tonight, but I could probably tell a little bit in the future. But I wanted to take a little different approach tonight. I want to tell 4 of my favorite things that I learned about JY living with him for the past 4 years. Number one, he's probably the most organized, disorganized person I've ever met in my whole damn life. Organized, by that I mean common areas, kitchen, living room, all that stuff. He was always bitching at us to clean up and like, what are y'all doing? Why is this such a mess? Disorganized. The man, I think Shaq mentioned this, the man had more laundry in the damn laundry room than he had in his whole frickin' closet. I will give it to him though. The clothes were clean, his lazy ass just wouldn't take them down to his closet and hang it up. So that brings me to my next point. I don't know why this is, but he has the heaviest feet in the whole damn world. It got to the point where we started calling him Cindy, which is short for cinder block, because it sounds like he's got cinder blocks attached to his feet. Every morning, if I ever slept through my alarm, I knew it was going to be fine because I would hear JY running up the damn stairs to, like Shaq said, put his damn shirt in the dryer to de-wrinkle it so he could wear it to work. So I guess it was kind of nice having Cindy around every once in a while. Next, I will give it to him. The man is a hell of a chef. I guess he kills so much damn stuff that he had to figure out what to do with all the meat. So it was every once in a while he would whip up a good meal for all the roommates, which was nice. It was good to have a break from ramen noodles every once in a while. And last but not least, and he's going to get red with this one, the man has some dance moves. And every time it would be like 9:30, 10 o'clock, he'd be like, all right, guys, I'm going to bed. Like, he'd walk into his room, shut the door. We knew he was pulling out his phone, pulling up his little hidden TikTok app, practicing all those little, 10-year-old dance moves in the mirror. And hopefully we can see some of those dance moves either tonight or tomorrow. We'll get him up here and get those dances going. But seriously, JY, thank you for being such an incredible friend for the last 15, 16 years. Thank you for introducing me to some of the stuff that I love doing most, being outdoors. Sarah, JY, I can't wait to see where y'all's relationship goes, and can't wait to see the relationship flourish day by day, and cheers to everybody. Love you.
Harry, just to be clear, I told my boss that the rug burn was from a tubing accident at Lake Martin, so just to clear the air. Yeah, I was pretty banged up from that. I'll keep it pretty short. I just have a list of thank yous. First of all of y'all, thank y'all for being here. Obviously, the times are unprecedented, crazy right now, so it means the world to myself and Sarah for y'all to be here, for y'all to make the sacrifices. A lot of people traveled to be here, so thank y'all for that. Some people couldn't make it here, whether it be COVID or whatever, but y'all made the sacrifices to be here with us, so we appreciate that. To the Wideners, thank you for this weekend. It's going to be perfect. The weather may not agree with our plans, but we're having a wedding, so it doesn't matter. Thank you all for everything. It's going to be perfect. And thank you all for being so open and inviting to me all along the years, my little scrawny butt coming and knocking on the door and taking Sarah on dates. Y'all are always so open and inviting. Thank you all for raising such an awesome woman, such an awesome girl. She's the most selfless person I know. She goes out of her way to put everyone first. She's never the first on her own mind. She always has a good attitude. She never complains. She always smiles. She's just an absolute all-star. So thank y'all for that. Mom and Dad, thank y'all for tonight. This is the perfect intro to the weekend. Getting everybody here. Summer out was just incredible. Y'all are the best parents that a kid could ever ask for. Although I will say, and for those of you that know the Young family, which is pretty much everyone, this is common knowledge. There's a favorite child in the family. It's Haley. This is an open forum. It's not a secret. We have discussions about it. It's just one of the non-negotiables in life, and that's fine. So my whole life, Brooks and I jockey for, number 2 in the Young family power rankings, and that's fine. I wouldn't have it any other way. Fast forward to Sarah entering our world, and quickly became apparent that that position was no longer up for grabs. So Brooks, here's to fighting for number 3. But no, it's a blessing that Sarah has just come into our family, and the Wideners have been so open to me, and it's just everybody gets along so well. It's incredible. Sarah, thank you for putting up with me for as long as you have. I, along with most people here, don't really know why or how you've stuck around for this long. Whether it be, going to New Hampshire and sleeping in some random dude's horse barn for a week turkey hunting, or going with Cole and chasing frogs in the swamp. I don't know. I would come home and you were there. So I don't know how or why, but I'm forever grateful that you kept showing up. No, you're so easy to love. I mean, you're incredible. Everyone here is just testament to you and how loved you are and how special you are. So I love you, and I can't wait to marry you. And I think that will kind of wrap it up. Rev, you want to close us out?
Good job. So my name's Steve Allen, and I was asked by Jack and Sarah to wrap this up tonight by saying a few things. I am the chaplain at the Lovett School. I've known the Young family for about 20 years, and Sarah for the last, 10 or 11 now, I guess. And but more importantly, I think I've learned tonight that my claim to fame now is that I am Jack's wrestling coach. And that deserves a mic drop. I didn't realize that, Jack, you took the wrestling with you for the last however many years, and I'm so proud to hear you whooped everybody's ass. Good job. Jack and Sarah and I met a couple of months ago on my back porch. As a chaplain, I've gotten to know this family and this couple for a long time, and asked if I'd share a few things. And one of the things I said when we were meeting a couple of months ago was that getting married is a whole lot easier than being married. No offense to my wife, she's awesome, I love her, but being married is tough, and for everybody, and it takes a lot of work. And so I asked them actually to think about a few things. And one of the things that we talked about was that, when you're little, you hear all the time of the fairy tale fantasy of marriage, that there's a beautiful princess dressed in a beautiful dress, and she walks down the aisle to meet her handsome prince, and together they will ride off and live happily ever after. That's the getting married part. But the being married part, it takes a lot more work. So I asked them if they would, after we were done meeting, to send me an email with some answers to some questions, and I asked them to think through some of the things that would present some challenges for their married life together. Interestingly, Jack never responded to my email, but Sarah did, and she said this. She said, the one of us is type A, the other one is not. One of us is a worrier, and one is not. One is hyper-organized, and the other is not. One is very sensitive, and the other not so much. And one is neat, and the other one not so much. And when you think about that, and these are just some of they have a lot of things they share together in common, but these are some of the things I asked them to reflect on, some of the challenges. And when you think about it, these are the things that we face in the idea of being married, spending our life together with someone. And what that struck me, and the thing I wanted to share with Jack and Sarah and with all of you tonight, is this. You're not the first couple on your wedding weekend to discover some challenges, or as you come up to your wedding, to discover that there are challenges to being married. 2,000 years ago, there was a couple that was getting married just like you were, and at their wedding weekend, the story is told in the 2nd chapter of the Gospel of John, that they were in a town called Cana, and they were having a wedding, and they ran out of wine. And back then, that was very embarrassing. That would be like us going to the after party here tonight and running out of wine. Or tomorrow going to the rehearsal reception and running out of alcohol. It's just not a good thing. And it was also a bad sign of things to come for their marriage. And yet, what I love about that story, and what I want to say to you, Jack and Sarah, is this. What the story tells us is that the presence of Jesus at that wedding changed everything. And if you know the story at all, you know that what happened was Jesus took some water and he turned it into wine. And what he did was he transformed a bad omen of a married life to come, a stressful, embarrassing event, and he turned it into an amazing, miraculous one. And so I guess what I want to say to you guys is you enter your married life together is the presence of God in a marriage changes everything. He has the ability to take two very different people that struggle in some ways, and make them one very great pair. He has the ability to take all your running out of wine moments and turn your water into wine. And he has the ability to take a global pandemic and turn it into an amazing wedding weekend. And if you're willing to keep that in mind and let God be the center of your relationship, my feeling is that you two will make an incredible couple. I say you make a beautiful princess, Sarah. I say you make a handsome prince, Jack. And may you truly enjoy and live life happily ever after. Amen. A toast to Jack and Sarah. Jay Young, what's next? What's that? Band's about to crank it up. Everybody enjoy yourselves. Have a great night.